You held NCO rank in the Navy, didn't you?
Aye, sir, I did that. I was chief petty officer till I was busted.
Busted?
Aye, struck the officer of the watch, sir.
Did you?
With a boat hook.
Well, I expect you had good reason.
Oh, I had that, sir.
Yes, I'm sure you had.
I was drunk.
The character I'm collecting in this video is Private James Frazer in the second series of Dad's Army.
What's this one? Football results. Scotland 4?
Scotland forever, you ignorant Sassenach.
First broadcast in 1969, from the 1st of March to the 5th of April, Dad's Army's second series has become the most infamous to fans of the sitcom due to 3 of its 6 episodes being lost. This is due to the BBC reusing the tapes that the episodes were recorded on, a cost-saving initiative they did during this period in television, which thankfully only impacted one of Dad's Army's 9 series.
How are you going to get hold of champagne corks? Remember, there's a war on.
I'm very well aware of that, Frazer.
For 30 years, only one episode was thought to have survived, Sergeant Wilson's Secret. Operation Kilt and the Battle of Godfrey's Cottage were found in 2001, and the audio track of A Stripe for Frazer was found in 2008. The Loneliness of the Long-Distance Walker and Under Fire are still missing. In 2016, A Stripe for Frazer was reconstructed via animation.
All you need is a clear head, nerves of steel, and a tank.
I've got his name, sir.
He's got your name, Joe.
Yeah, I've got his whiskey.
7 years later, the other 2 missing episodes were also animated, using the audio from the Dad's Army radio series, recorded in 1974. In 2019, 50 years since these 3 episodes were last seen, they were reenacted.
Well, what are you all waiting for?
We're still at attention. It's up to him at the end there to take his finger out.
That's enough, Frazer. Same time, Wilson, I do think it is up to you to take some action.
Appearing in all 6 episodes, Frazer is played by John Laurie, who that same year appeared in episodes of The Avengers, The Borders, Strange Report, and The Gnomes of Dulwich.
I'm sorry, sir, it's all this damn bull. I can't see any sense in
A
it.
smart soldier is a good soldier.
I've heard that before, but it sounds
Frazer?
very bull.
In the 2019 remakes, Frazer is played by David Hayman.
What a load of rubbish the man does talk.
Dad's Army's second series starts with Captain Mannering giving his Home Guard unit a fitness class.
Captain Manning wants you to strip off.
He can't strip off. It's only his clothes that's keeping him from falling apart.
The platoon will be taking part in an initiative exercise against a Highland regiment.
I'm going to feel a bit of a traitor, sir. Feel I'm fighting my own kith and kin, as it were, he understands.
Oh, don't be absurd. When the Hun comes, it won't make any difference if you're wearing a kilt or trousers. He'll still try to kill you.
On the other hand, if it's a dark night and you're wearing a kilt, you might get other ideas.
To spy on the regiment in order to obtain their precise plan of action, Private Walker and Frazer dress up in a pantomime cow costume. They mingle amongst real cows until they are spotted by a bull.
Terrible. A terrible experience, sir.
Mannering and his men catch the Highlanders by using snare traps to hang them upside down.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this thing work?
Of course I've seen it work.
In a Tarzan film.
In a top.
The platoon are meeting at the coastal town's Novelty Rock Emporium, where Frazer is the first to observe that there will not be enough room for both the men and their bicycles.
It's going to be a wee bit crowded in this wee shop when the whole platoon gets here, isn't it, sir?
Well, we'll just have to do the best we can, Frazer. We can't have all these bicycles in here. You can't swing a cat round. All bicycles outside.
Right.
That applies to yours, too.
Right. Shall I take your back out as well, sir?
What? Oh, no. On second thought, perhaps there's just room for 2.
All right.
One afternoon, the church bells start ringing the same day that the platoon are supposed to be going to the cinema in another town. This divides the show's Magnificent 7 into Sergeant Wilson and Privates Walker and Pike, while Mannering, Corporal Jones and Frazer think they are the only 3 men left to defend the town.
We'll fight to the last, that's what we'll do, sir. We'll fight to the last. If we run out of ammo, sir, we'll give them the old cold steel. They don't lock it up, if you know, sir.
As established in the first scene of the episode, the captain has decided that the cottage belonging to the very frail and friendly Private Godfrey and his two sisters will be the best advantage point to tackle the invading forces.
Probably be the end of us, but we're ready for that, aren't we, men?
Of course.
Good show.
With no sandbags to cushion enemy bullets, Frazer gathers Godfrey's cushions and pillows.
There's a gentleman here selling pillows. I think we ought to buy some. They match the ones we have upstairs.
It is never actually explained why the church bells were ringing, due to some missing footage that jump cuts to Mr. Hodges, the air raid warden, telling the heroic but foolish men that he's going to report them to the police. The radio adaptation fills in the missing dialogue.
There's an invasion on.
What are you talking about?
The church bells, of course.
That was a false alarm. We've been stood down for ages.
In the Dad's Army movie, made in 1971, the vicar accidentally causes a panic by ringing his church bells because they were about to be taken away and recycled into weapons for the war effort.
I don't like it, Captain Mannering. It's too quiet.
Godfrey, do you think perhaps you could keep that bird quiet?
Walker, the second youngest private in the platoon, has been called up to join the army, meaning he will no longer be able to supply Wilmington-on-Sea with their essential supplies.
This is terrible news, Joe. Terrible. What about my whiskey?
Yeah, and my gin.
What about my sister's fudge?
Now, don't be selfish, men. By the way, what about my whiskey?
Jones tries to make Walker unfit to pass the Army's medical exam by having him repeatedly jump off a ladder to flatten his feet.
Ow!
497.
Ow!
498.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm not doing any more.
Man, you've no stamina.
Due to the radio adaptation being 5 minutes shorter than the TV episode, a scene not included takes place the next day outside the medical inspection's office.
Do you remember anything else you did in your medical? I had to give a little cough. Oh. Right, well, showers. There must have been something else.
I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Camouflage is the subject of Mannering's latest lecture, and as always, the platoon's number 1 section of men have thought outside the box much more than sections 2 and 3.
This is winter camouflage. You wear it in the snow.
Well done, Frazer.
While Sergeant Wilson worries because he thinks his lover, Mrs. Pike, is pregnant, Frazer and Walker demonstrate their improvised weapons of self-defense. Frazer proposes putting plates on the ground in front of an approaching enemy tank. Walker's extreme shoulder pads wins him 2 lamb chops and chitterlings.
He sees the line of plates right in his path. He doesn't know what they are. Meantime, we are hiding behind cover. And as soon as he gets out of his tank, we'll let him have it. Bam!
Mannering, who has finally received his captain's hat, is informed that Home Guard platoons can now have a Lance Corporal position, this being a rank above a regular private, but below the rank of corporal. After weighing up the 4 principal privates, Mannering selects Frazer, despite Wilson's reservations.
He was a Jack Tar, wasn't he?
I believe it was, yes.
One thing about the boys in blue. They stand fast in face of the enemy.
Yes, well, there's nowhere to run to on a boat, is there, really?
Frazer's claim to being a chief petty officer in the Navy was debunked in the next series.
I dare say you think the situation's pretty hopeless.
Absolutely hopeless, sir.
Well, it's not.
It's not hopeless at all.
As Wilson feared, having an element of authority goes to Frazer's head.
Our watchword must be, they shall not pass.
Beautiful words, sir. These are beautiful words.
And he takes every opportunity to praise Captain Mannering, in a hope that he will eclipse Jones and upgrade from Lance Corporal to Corporal.
You're right, sir. The captain is right, you know.
That evening, Mannering gives a lecture on how to tackle a Nazi parachutist, should one enter your home or place of business.
Hi
Handy hock, swine, who English, handy hock, snell, handy hock.
Later, Lance Corporal Frazer has charged 4 members of the platoon and insists they be court-martialed. Pike for deserting his post.
This great big Alsatian dog came up and started barking at me, sir. I think he was after me aniseed balls.
Godfrey for cowardice.
Dogs don't like me, even little dogs. Cowardice in the face of the enemy.
How do you call an Alsatian the enemy?
The German dogs.
Walker for mutiny.
I told Taffy here that if he didn't stop being so regimental, we'd stop his whiskey.
And Jones.
He said to me, I suppose you think I'm a stupid old bot written on that paper, and I said, yes, I think you are.
Colonel Square arrives, announcing that the GHQ have assigned him to the platoon as their secondary corporal to help train them in guerrilla warfare.
You've done this deliberately.
The only outcome of the episode that is for certain is that Frazer is stripped of his Lance Corporal stripe, though surely threatening bodily harm upon a senior officer like Square in wartime is worthy of a court-martial or prison sentence.
And what's more, I'm charging that Scotch of yours with insolence.
Yes, what he said was a jolly sight worse than what's on that paper, sir.
Mannering warns the men that they must be prepared in the event that the Germans firebomb Wilmington-on-Sea.
Frazer?
Aye, sir.
You've been responsible for the stirrup pump. Is it in good working order?
Oh, aye, it is. I'll bring it round after parade.
Why isn't it here?
I've been using it for the dig for victory campaign in my garden.
That night, Frazer and Godfrey are on watch from the top of the church tower.
You're trembling like a leaf. Are you cold? No, just frightened. Well, can I say I blame you, son? These aircraft didn't sound very friendly.
Frazer spots a light flashing from a house, and the men fear the occupant is signalling to the enemy. Along with the captain and sergeant, Frazer and Godfrey go to the house and find an Austrian called Sigmund Murphy.
I have lived here for 25 years.
Hey, you didn't sound like an Englishman.
For that matter, my friend, neither do you.
His neighbour insists she saw him signalling last night too, which Murphy denies.
Would you mind keeping your dog under control? He's been in my room again.
Look there, it's a German dog.
Fritz! Come here, you bad boy.
It's even got a German name.
Returning to the church, an incendiary bomb breaks through the roof and sets fire to the hall. Jones fills the bucket, Frazer works the pump, and Mannering sprays it on the fire.
Oh, this is hard work.
As the 2019 reenactment demonstrates, in the original episode, this scene contained a lot more slapstick, and Walker did the pumping. Then he and Frazer get the long-handled shovel stuck in the office. Mrs. Pike puts the fire out using a sandbag and recognises Mr. Murphy as her auntie's cousin's ex-husband. In the original version, it is Warden Hodges who recognises Murphy as one of his relations. The episode and season of the show ends without solving the mystery of who Frazer saw flashing a light during the air raid blackout.
I don't see how we are going to win the war.
Yes, I must say, that thought does occur to me from time to time.